Dr. Suresh sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. So once if you confirm, like we can begin the session. I've initiated the recording.
Yes, sir. Another 2 minutes, sir. 2-3
Sure.
minutes. Students are joining.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Radha, ma'am. Myself, Veera, I'm from the core team. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome to our session.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. In a few minutes, can be session.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Do we have
I will
any
wait.
PPT for
Yes,
presentation?
yes, sir. I
Okay.
have the PPT.
Can we
Yes.
check whether it is working properly?
Yes, I already checked anyway. We will check.
Sir, we already checked it.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, we will begin the session, sir, because we are going for recording. And the students may get it later. Okay. And we don't delay this session.
Okay. Sir,
Sir, I will do the welcome and Chandra ma'am is there?
No, she's not there.
And then you can do intro, sir.
I'll go with the intro then.
Okay. Then just a minute. I will go for a live. I will come back in 1 minute. Just a minute. Okay. Thanks, sir. Yes. Very good evening, one and all. And today we are going to have a wonderful session on learning disabilities by Dr. Radha Balachandran ma'am. I think we had an amazing session with her earlier. I think we can see the feedback what we have received for her is an amazing one. Today we are going to have another amazing session from Dr. Radha Balachandran ma'am. On behalf of Department of Psychology, American College, Madurai, and our associating institutions like Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, MHLM Institute, Madurai, and other institutions. And on behalf of the participant and core team members, I welcome today's the speaker, Dr. Radha Balachandran, for the topic on learning disabilities, and it is our 285th webinar session. Now I request our core team member, Mr. Veera, to introduce the resource person to the audience over here. Over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Suresh. Yes, thank you, Dr. Radha ma'am, to join our session, and thank you, our sincere participants. For me, it's glad to introduce our today's speaker and myself, Veera. I'm from the core team. Okay, Dr. Radha Balachandran, who is actually a director of Kids Care Rehab Center in Chennai, as well as he's a pediatric physiotherapist and psychological counselor, and also specialized in early intervention, sensory integration, behavior therapy, rhythmic movement training, NLP practitioner, remedial therapy, Reiki master, acupuncture, and brain game, with more than 18 years of experience with various crowns, whatever I said now. And also currently providing in therapy classes for children with autism, of course, ADHD, learning disabilities, and developmental delay. She's providing online attention and concentration classes for school children. And also she awarded by Indian Physiotherapy Association conference, which held at Chennai on March 20 as Distinguished Clinician Award. And she also awarded the Best Physiotherapist Award at the International Physiotherapy Conference, which held on Theracon 19. Moreover, Best Pediatric Physiotherapist in Medical Excellence Award organized by World Tamil Chamber of Commerce on Doctors' Day, which 1st July 2017. She presented papers in various international conferences as well as seminars, and also she conducted webinars for teachers, health professionals, and also parents. And moreover, the core thing which I want to convey to all the participants, he has been providing the awareness about autism, ADHD, learning disability, and the importance of early intervention to medias like Sun TV, JR TV, Makkal TV, Pin TV, Purpose TV, and some more channels even. And she has conducted 50 plus workshops, national and international wide, to various target groups such as parents, medical groups, school headmasters, and teachers in India as well Malaysia. And the other thing I want to convey about Radha ma'am, she developed and implemented Brain to Act movement based on intervention for a student with a learning disorder and ADHD to enhance academic performance, cognitive skills, emotional intelligence, attention, memory, handwriting, spelling, coordination skills, and some more even. And she worked as a guest lecturer and as MSc counseling and psychotherapy students in Tamil Nadu Open University about children disorders, as well adolescence and puberty and development psychology. Even there are many, I can say, like as of now, I think like this is enough to narrate about our Radha ma'am. And I request all the participants to have a great session. Please mute your audio as well video, and all your queries can be clarified in the question answer session. I request Dr. Radha ma'am to take over further. The floor is yours, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. And then I thank Suresh Kumar sir for this opportunity to address about learning disability. As we are in the new normal life, we are our students also undergoing a lot of online sections. So today topic is the need for the hour. So I'd like to share the presentation. And learning disability. Many of you all know about learning disability. You may seen Tare Jameen Par and in Tamil Pasanga too. Like that, different type of in media, they exposed about learning disability, or many of you are a psychologist in the psychological background, so you know about learning disability. And then today I'm going to address about what and all learning disability, what is the type, and then mainly what we can do it in the current scenario, as we are in the online classroom technology. So what we can do it in the current thing. So I will first start with what and all the student struggles usually in the classroom. Now it's an online classroom. The first and foremost is usually whenever parents bring the children to me, the first and foremost is the child is not focusing in the class. That's the foremost. Teacher may be complained that your child is not focusing at the class. He is distracting the class. He is looking at the window and he is not completed his classwork or homework on time, and always incomplete notebook it's there. And whenever we ask him to read out loud, he has difficulty. So he is also undergoing lot of buddy system. So first child students or your children, or they are first struggling in the classroom or in the school, or it can be in the online, is a learning disability. Next one is a processing difficulties, which is a processing. Each one, whatever we perceive, it's through our sense organ. So now I am giving some lecture to you all. So how you process, you by the auditory, by the vision, and then by seeing the PPT, you are learning. So there is an input, there's a processing, and then slowly whenever you know about the subject, when you deliver to someone else, it's an output. So there's a processing speed. Each thing they have difficulty to process the speed. If the teacher told like elephant means, they have to visualize what is elephant, what the size of the elephant, and then they have to process, and then they have to write it down in the exam. So the processing speed, that they will have a processing speed. And another important student struggles in the school is ADHD. I already gave a lecture about ADHD a few months before. Next one is a social problems, boredom in school. This is a very big issue, boredom in school and life skills. So today I'm going to address about learning disability. So before I address about learning disability, I would like to share it like a story. There is a fifth standard boy who is 10-year-old. He is very creative. When we ask any drawing or sketching or in creativity, he is very good in drawing and he is very good in coloring. But he has difficulty. He has to difficulty to read it out loud. It's yeah, and then when the boy is when the boy when he studied at LKG, UKG, first standard, at that time he had a difficulty like whenever he see a B, he will tell D. Whenever he has to write it down D, he process the information D, but sometimes he write it down B. Sometimes he process the information 6, but he process that it's 9, so he write it down in the like mirror writing issues are there in the first standard up to second standard. Then after he overcome, he had difficulty in reading out loud. He has difficulty to memorize all the spelling. So what happened, whatever creativity he got, whatever exposure he got, but he is just go backward, and then he is just thinking about what others will think about himself. So the slowly he is isolated with all his friends, and then every day teacher will be scolding him, what happened to you, you are not writing down, you are not completing your classwork, homework, what happened, why you are writing very slow? And then teacher gave him lot of negative comments. So when teacher also gave him lot of comments, he is somewhat going backward. And then at home also parents is pushing him. Okay, what happened to you? Why are not focusing? You are spending so much money for you, but you are not reading out loud. What happened to you? So this everything is there. So when he is in the fifth standard, he has difficulty to read and write even cat, bat, rat. That rhyming sound. So at that point, the parent will expect the son to study it at the fifth standard portions. That is whatever there in the fifth standard curriculum. But the child is already lagged behind in the first standard, second standard. But we cannot expect the child to read it out with the fifth standard. So there's a lot of process has to be there. And then the main thing why I address this story is the learning disability children, they have average, above average IQ, and then they have difficulty in academic purpose with this reading, writing, spelling only. Other than that, emotionally, they are very strong. They know what happens to themselves. Even that boy, he told me that I am not capable to go to school. And then he cried a lot. See the pain, see how much he undergone the pain. So as there will be many teachers, so whenever you notice that the child has some difficulty in learning or in attention, don't have some commands like a feedback, like a comments to the child. You just sit with the child, and then, or even in the online class, you can call the child and then you can ask what problem to the child, why the child is not why the child is not able to cope up with the syllabus, what's the problem. If it is like that, emotionally the child won't be affected. So learning disability cannot be cured, but they can be treated successfully, and children with learning disability can go to live a happy and successful life. And this is a very famous quotation from a learning disability person. The way my brain process information is quite old. I mean, I have attention deficit disorder on another learning disability. I cannot even spell. I cannot even a high school diploma. I am smart, but I cannot prove it on the paper. Yeah, that's a thing where they will have the difficulty. They have difficulty to prove it on the paper. So what and all will be there in the learning disability? Now DSM-5, they just categorize as a specific learning disorder. they will have some categories in that. So usually learning disability means they will have poor memory, ADHD, or learning disability, processing issues, speech and language problem, dyslexia. And I already mentioned that learning disability does not include learning problem, which are primarily the result of visual, hearing, or a motor disability of mental retardation. Now they call it as intellectual disabilities and emotional disturbance, or of an environmental, cultural, or economic disadvantages. So I'd like to address another important thing. If the child who is not very good in English language, means we should not categorize like he has some learning difficulty or not, because he don't have the adequate foundation for that second language. He may be good in the first language. So so here we have to know that they are not mentally retarded. So I like to share another important story. I shared in a previous conference in ADHD webinar also. Today also I'd like to share this story. First standard boy who is just, he may be at that time 5 or 6 years old. The teacher told him that he is not fit for normal school. He has to go to special school, and he is dumb. He is retarded. The word teacher used is he is retarded, he is dumb. So after that, the child refused to go to school. Why the teacher told this word means he cannot complete the classwork, and then he cannot focus in the class. And then foremost, he is very difficulty to formation of the cursive writing. So all these things, and then because of that, the teacher told this that dumb and he is not fit for the school. So after that, the child did not go to school for 10 days. Then after the parent brought to me, and then after I find it out, then I, after providing lot of therapies, then now he is studying at 5th standard. So that's what I am addressing. So even if you met any learning disability, don't emotionally give some command to them. They can able to process information, but in the different way. Okay, now what is a specific learning disability or a disorder? Specific means it because it concerns the specific skill and not the intelligence of the person. So this one has to be remind that it's not depend upon the intelligence of the person. It involves school learning such as reading, writing, calculation. And then disorder means there is some disturbance, but it is not illness. Okay, there is a disturbance. So usually learning disability children are not dumb or not lazy. In fact, they will usually have or average above average intelligence. Their brain just process information differently. Many learning disability parents, they will tell them that they are very good, they are very brilliant, they are smart, but still they cannot do the academic work. They are usually the parent complains that they are very lazy. We have to push him, and then he may be dumb. We have to push him. The thing is, he is not lazy. He is have difficulty to process the information. And here that some of the important fact is that the person with learning disability, I already told, they are not lazy, dumb, and attention deficit, attention disorder or learning disability can be occur at the same time or may not. And children with dyslexia may use almost 5 times as much brain area as other children while using a simple language task. Learning disability are not the same as autism. So usually some parent, they may be thinking, and then teachers may be thinking they have some neurological problem. Yes, they have processing the difficulties. Other than that, they don't have any neurological problem. And then myth is learning disability is not common. The fact is learning disability are very common. 4.6 million Americans reported having learning disability. Not only American, but also in India, we have around 10 to 20% of children who have learning disability. But in India, sometimes it may not be, they may not be come for a diagnostic, they may not be come for a therapy or a special education. So we know the accurate figure, what's percentage. But many of the kids in India, what happens if the child is learning difficulty and a difficulty to cope up, and then they may be drop out from the school. So that is happening in India. To overcome that, they have to undergo a lot of therapies and special education and then remedial program. And people with learning disability cannot learn. It's totally myth. People with learning disability are very smart, can learn. They learn in different ways. Yes, they learn in different ways. So what and all the possible causes for learning disability is the first one is a genetic influence. It may be runs in the family, but still the causes, it's still in the research. It may be causes during the birth. It may be premature birth or brain trauma causing during occurring after the birth. After birth means it may be malnutrition, or it can be occurring during the birth. It can be prenatal, postnatal, and perinatal. It can be any time, but still it may be a genetic influence, may not be a genetical influence. So learning disability, there are a number of disorder which affects the acquisition, organization, retention, using or use of verbal and non-verbal information. So they will have impairment, one or more process related to perceiving, thinking, remembering, and learning. So it can be a language processing, phonological processing, visual spatial processing, perceptual motor integration, processing speed, memory and attention, executive function. And then they will have one or more difficulty. It may be oral, it can be listening, speaking, understanding, reading, maybe decoding, phonetic knowledge, word recognition, comprehension, written language, it can be spelling, written expression, mathematics, it can be problem solving, organization, and social skills. So what and all the signs and symptoms? They make frequent errors in spellings and word correctly, confusion in reading the words, and the learning process is too slow, trouble in making words by blending sound. So I'd like to share another case study. This is a current where the child is from UK. In UK also, they will have lot of therapy system or that, but the way every day the child, the boy told me he is around 8-year-old, and then he told me during the online therapy class, he told me that each time whenever I entered the school, teachers start shouting at me. I have difficulty to listen what teachers say. So each and every time teacher will give some instructions, I may be wrongly perceived, and then I will do something wrong, and then every day there is a complaint. And not only that, the child he is very good, he is a very good communicator, he is very good in speaking, but only in reading he has the difficulties, and not only reading, he has difficulties in writing also. He writes very, very, very small, which is teacher cannot able to read it. It's not very visible, legible also. So that difficulties is also there. So there is a different type of case studies where learning disability. But first and foremost, one thing I have to tell you all that they are emotionally affected because they know that they have the difficulties. Even the second standard boy knows they have the difficulties, but they don't know how to address the difficulty. They don't know the solution. But when they are in the correct path of special education, remedial therapy, and other different type of therapy, they can overcome the difficulty, and then they can able to cope up. Even I like to another important thing, the few days before I had an online consultation. In that 7-year-old boy who is studying first standard, The main thing the mom told me that the mom is well educated, and then she told me that the boy has difficulty in English, so we enrolled him in Tamil medium school. So this is happen in many parents. So parents may thought that the child has difficulty in understanding English language, and then child has difficulty in BC, that reverse image, and difficulty in reading, and then identifying the alphabet. So even the first standard boy, he has difficulty to identify alphabet in English and also in the Tamil. Even in Tamil, he knows only a. Other than that, he don't know any words. But in Tamil, there will be a lot of lessons of that. So what happens? The involuntarily, the mother is giving pressure to the son to read it out in Tamil. So this point of time, they have to consult any therapist or a psychologist. What's the accurate problem for the child? If the child has some difficulties, means immediately they will be think the child has difficulty in English language, so they will enroll in Tamil medium. But even in the Tamil medium, he has lot of difficulty in identifying the letters, and then the pronunciation, and then all the rhyming words, everything that the boy has a difficulty. So like that, there are many stories like that. So many case studies like that. So parent has to know that why the child did not perform, whether it's not a language, it's just the processing the information. So when we giving adequate training for identification the alphabet, and then when we providing a phonetics training and all, awareness and all, the child can overcome the difficulties. And what and all the two types of learning disability? It can be a non-academic, academic. Academic means it can be spelling, arithmetic, reading, writing. It can be a composition, or it is copying from the board, and then coordination, which is fine motor, gross motor. And then in non-academic, it is a visual motor problems, it is fine motor, gross motor, phonological processing problem, language problem, memory, which can be a visual memory, auditory memory, and then perceptual problem. And usually we know that dyslexia, dysgraphia, and then dyscalculia, but now DSM-5, they have came out with more types of learning disability. First one is dyslexia, which is the child has difficulty in reading, and language difficulty will be the dyscalculia. They will have difficulty only in academic, only in arithmetic and maths concept. And dysgraphia is a writing disorder resulting in illegibility. So they will have only writing disorder. They are very good in reading. So this complaint will be there in almost many kids. The parent complains that they are very good in reading, and then even they have an exam also. They will orally, they will tell almost all the question and answer. When they comes to writing, they have the difficulty. Only comes to writing, they have difficulty in organizing whatever they have to write, or from the copying from the board, or it can be fine motor difficulty only in the writing, because nowadays we are in the digital world. Orally we can speak and then do, but when it is comes to writing, how many of us we are writing every day? That is a big question mark. So whether we writing every day for 5 to 10 pages, so but here we are expecting kids to write for write in the classwork or in the homework, so they also have the difficulty in writing. And dyspraxia, it's a motor coordination problem. And auditory processing difficulty, they have difficulty processing and remarking language related tasks. Non-verbal learning disorder, which may be terrible. They will have difficulty with non-verbal clues such as body language, poor coordination, clumsy, and visual motor difficulty, reverse word letters, cannot copy accurately. And language disorder, they will have terrible understanding spoken language, poor reading, and comprehension. And here, what and all comes under dyslexia? The first and foremost is spelling, writing, listening, memory, and then intelligence, planning, visual processing, speed, direction, behavior, speaking. So here we will know that they will have slow and unable to have the spelling, and then usually dyslexia children, they will have afraid, and then they will very scared to read it out loud. Whenever we give some book to read it out loud, they are very scared because they know that they don't have that reading ability. So wherever they will make the mistake, and then they will emotionally disturb. So if there is any dyslexia children, we should not ask them to read it out loud, but we can practice them. We can practice them. Slowly when they are practicing, they can able to read it out loud. And then even in the speaking and spelling, they will have lot of spelling issues. So that is also can overcome. And this is according to the age-wise age-wise characteristics of dyslexia: difficulty in pronunciation, hard time memorizing letters of alphabet in preschool level, and they will have difficulty in buttoning, zipping, tying shoes, cannot properly hold and control pencil or crayons. In elementary, which is age of 5 to 9, they will have difficulty in connecting the letters and sound, constantly misspelling, misreading, very slow at learning new skill, cannot blend multiple sounds to form new words. In middle school, which is 10 to 13, does not understand reading comprehension, avoid reading out loud because of judgment of peers and feeling. Yes, here they will have more tension, and they will be get more stress. So they will be think what others will be thinking. So here usually learning disability children, dyslexia children, they will be always thinking about what other people think about themselves because of the reading and learning disability. And spelling the same word differently throughout an assignment, bad organization skill. And till now we gone through the dyslexic characteristic, but they also have lot of strength. They will have physical strength, they have high energy level, visual strength, they can visualize in 3 dimension from very every angle. They are very creative, and then they are very good in animation, very good in drawing. And then auditory strength also, their personal strength. They usually learning disability and dyslexic, they may be singer, musician, actor, they can be a business owner. So we have to provide a proper training to them. And next category is dysgraphia. Dysgraphia means they have difficulty in writing. There is a two-way. One is copying from the board. Another one is writing on the own in the exams. So for that, they need a lot of training. And then they will also have fine motor difficulties like formation the letters, spacing the word. Each word they won't give any adequate spacing, handwriting issues, sizing. Some child will be write it in different size, and then some kid they will be writing capital words in between. And then they will be some word will be some letter will be very big, some letter will be very small. And manipulation difficulty, pencil grip, and then tires quickly when writing. Many kids, even in LKG, UKG, when kids are complaining that they have wrist pain or arm pain while writing, you have to check with a therapist whether they have difficulty in holding the pencil or any fine motor difficulties. Usually parent will tell them, usually they told me that they are giving excuse to write. They are not giving excuse to write. They have difficulty to hold the pencil and to write for long time. Even many kids, I observed that even for 2 lines, they take around half an hour to 1 hour to write 2 lines. And then immediately they feel tired after writing also. Difficulty thinking of words to write. And this one, yes, whenever they will be whatever that the syllabus in the exam, they will be by heart, and then it's there in the memory. When it is comes to the writing, they will have difficulty of what words to write. Not only, even for us, when we don't have that much of writing practice, when it is comes, when we have to write it down, we also have sometimes we also have difficulty thinking of what words to write, and then terrible keeping track of thought. And then classroom management also, they will have difficulty, and then organization difficulty. And then dyspraxia is mainly a coordination difficulty, which is gross motor. They have difficulty in dressing up. And then some child, they may be difficulty in buttoning the shirt. And then staircase climbing up, they have difficulty in hopping, coordination, pose, running, and fine motor, concentration. They may have a poor memory skill, easily distracted also. And dyscalculia, they have difficulty only in math or in any calculation. So this one I like to know, many of us will be also having, because mainly the science students, they will be okay, I have difficulty in mathematics, but the basic who and all will be categorized as a dyscalculus. They have difficulty in telling times, working with money, counting, identifying symbols like plus or minus, understanding how numbers related to each other, telling left or right. This confusion is always there in almost many learning disability children. They will have difficulty which is left, which is right. And remembering the math fact like 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. And another most important is auditory processing difficulty understanding long sentence, difficulty following the instructions, struggles to hear the person speaking to them in the loud room. So they will have this difficulty. And then visual processing, which is very much important. It's interrupting information, visual information, not related to difficulty with the poor vision. Many parents, they may be think the child has to check the vision. They may be check the vision, and then sometimes they may have a short sight or long sight. But after the long sight, short, after they wearing the spectacles also, they will have difficulty. So because of visual discrimination, seeing the difference between two similar words, letters, shapes, objects, pattern, visual figure ground, which is seeing the image without completing background, and visual sequencing, which is ability to see and distinguish words of symbols. And now we are in the new normal lifestyle. Almost in many places, online classroom are going on. The recent article, which is very shocking, that due to this online classroom, many learning disability children has difficulty to cope up. And then many parents, they told they just drop out the children from the school. So it should not happen hereafter. Whenever you meet a learning disability during this pandemic time, you please advise the children, if they undergo adequate therapy, they can overcome whatever difficulty they have. And they usually, how we can assess learning disability: informal assessment, formal assessment. Usually we have to test is intellectual and cognitive potential, because intellectually the IQ should be average and above average only, we then classified as a learning disability. And then testing information processing and motor difficulty. And usually in India, I follow the Niemann's Learning Disability Index assessment tool is there, and then they will also have a test of memory tool. This assessment tool I usually do for learning disability children. And very important, essential for learning disability is eye-hand coordination. We should not directly go in to read, write. First, we have to check whether the child has eye-hand coordination difficulty. It prepares body for handwriting. and bilateral coordination important for holding the paper while writing across the page. And then core muscle, you observe many learning disability children, they don't sit straight while they are reading or writing. They will be usually in the cow's position, like they will be usually shrink it down, and then they like to lie down and read. Many kids they will be lie down on the tummy and then they will read. So, and then balance and coordination also help attention, focus, and emotional regulation. And crossing the midline, back to front activities, and then patterning. Okay. And then learning disability children also linked with the primitive reflex. The reflex where the newborn baby will have up to 1 year. If the reflex is retained, they may also have a learning disability. Why the learning disability children have lack of concentration, difficulty sitting upright for long time, withdrawn, shyness, anxiety, easily distracted is made due to the primitive reflex. For that only, I attended a workshop called rhythmic movement training. The rhythmic movement training is a reflex integration exercise. In that exercise, we will be check whether the child has any reflex retention or that. If the child had any reflex retention, when we providing adequate exercise for that, the child can overcome the difficulties. And this is and all the motor aspect, because motor skill, that usually learning disability is associated with motor coordination, attention, and also we have to check the phonological awareness, how the rhyming sound, sentence segmentation, syllables, onset, and then phonetic awareness. We have to blending sound, we have to check. For the reading pyramid, the first and foremost is a phonological awareness, phonetics, reading fluency, vocabulary, reading comprehension, everything is important. And what and all methods we can treat learning disability children? We can provide therapy, brain gym, and then we can provide them a rhythmic movement training program. And then what about in remedial therapy? We can also use a different learning style. Each children will learn in the different learning. Some child they may be very good in auditory learning style. Some they may be a kinesthetic learning. Usually learning disability children may be using the kinesthetic because while they're reading, they want to keep rocking, come and forth, or auditory, visual learners will be also there. So VARK model, which is a very famous model, which is a visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic. When we are implementing all the learning style in the teaching method, the child can easily, yes, only the problem is processing the information. When we are teaching them the different learning style, they can overcome whatever difficulties they have. And then also it is a individual educational program. This program is to set a learning goal for each child. So they will have a learning goal for each learning disability child, and then to support and service the children. And now classroom to online. So what we have to improvise? So now the child is not in the school. So we have to think about how we can treat dyslexia or dysgraphia or learning disability, overall learning disability. How we can do? We can give lot of therapy during the online consultation, but still we can think about the assistive technology, which is great therapy mode for learning disability children. There are different types of softwares, or the speech to text and note taking device and calculator software for editing. So whenever they have a difficulty in spelling, they can check the software, and then for reading they can. So this is and all the different assistive technology, where there is a dragon software where it will be read it out whatever child has to read. So once the through auditory, the child can understand the spelling and then pronunciation, everything. So by that, we can overcome, not only through the therapy, by assistive technology, by writing organization task. They have difficulty in organization. When you see the learning disability school bags, now there is no school bag during to the online classroom. When you see the school bag, it's so messy. So we have to teach them organization, and then dictation softwares are there, time management, hearing, reading, communication, all these softwares are there. So everyone fit in the inclusive classroom. That is very much important. So teachers and parents should not force the child to read, because this is a complaint where I get it from the students. The students complain me that each and every time, read, 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 learn, 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 study, study, study. When we are having this thing in the mind, so they will have refusal. Oh, I cannot do this, but my parent asked me to read or write or study, but I have some difficulty. How I can read? So they will be thinking. So they will have a new neural pathway about, okay, I cannot read, but my parents asked me to read. I have difficulty in writing, so but still they ask me to write. So they will have all this confusion in their brain. So whoever parents listen to this webinar, they should think that don't force your child. They did not be a learning disability. Don't force your child to read, 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 learn, learn, learn. Why? And then don't compare with other kids. That's a very important. You should not compare. Each learning disability children are unique, and each and every children in the world are unique, or they are totally different from each other. So don't compare the child. See, that child is doing very well. Why you cannot do it? Yes, they cannot do it. They also know, but they have difficulty. So they have to overcome that. That one we have to. So the support system from the parents and teacher is very much essential for the learning disability children. So what my usually I will be covering all the concept like different type of learning styles, and also the movement is a door to learn. That is a concept I usually follow. In my PhD work, I developed a Brain to Act program. The program is a unique movement-based program where it synchronizes body and mind to enhance learning and achievement. And then there will be a simple movement, and it develops a brain's neural pathway in the natural way through the movement. Not only through the movement, there is a different worksheet I developed, because now only the online consultation, so different worksheet and then different social stories I developed, and then it will improve learning, listening, attention, memory, handwriting, and academic skills. And it also improve whoever can they can go a brain to act therapy for the poor concentration and inattention due to gadget, because they don't have any learning disability or ADHD, but but due to the gadget, because they are in the online class, after the online class they have to use the mobile phone for writing the homework, everything, and then slowly they will be attached to the, so due to that also inattention may be there. So for that, and then learning, and then big posture, sitting, balance, and all. This is some of the online consultation I give. I believe that inside every child is a hidden strength and unknown ability, a hero waiting to dissolve. And I also believe that sometimes real superhero live in the art of the small children fighting a big battle. Yes, learning disability children need a support system. That is very much essential. We parents should not ask them why cannot study very well. If we provide a support system, they can do a lot of wonders. And by that, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I thank Suresh sir and then the core team of a mental health webinar for this opportunity. So I just informed about 20% of learning disability, but still lot of things is there to discuss. But the future, if we have another webinar, I will discuss everything. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And then if you are ready, if everyone come on video, I can share you one exercise for an learning and bilateral integration. Everyone please come on video. I can see only Dr. Veena. Yes. everyone. Yes. Subhashri ma'am is over there. Hi ma'am, how are you? Yes. Okay. This is a simple bilateral integration. It's not only a bilateral integration, it's also unilateral integration. It's just like that. You, with your right hand, you have to touch your left ear, and then left hand has to be go up. It should be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. When you practice this, the bilateral integration will be improved. This is one of the bilateral integration. I hope this webinar is very useful for you. I think this time I completed on time, I think. Yes, Dr. Veena is over here. Yes, we can go.
Yes. Thank you so much, Radha. That was a very intense topic and thoroughly enjoyed each and every moment. And thank you so much for giving so much of information in a nutshell. And also, you have like not left any of the areas of learning disability, and that's your style of presentation where you cover all the arenas of learning disability in a nutshell and present it in such a way that everything seems to be very easy. Thank you so much for that, and the floor is open for question and answers. I'm sure you will be like bombarded with questions from the participants. Participants, you can put the questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask the questions. I will facilitate the question and answer. They want you to repeat the exercise, Radha.
Okay, okay. So if everyone comes on video, so
Yes.
yes. Okay. The exercise for learning disability children, they will have difficulty because they will have which is right, which is left. To overcome it, this is a very simple exercise where, yes, alternate. You have to pull your ear and the hands up, and this one like this. No, Lena ma'am is doing yes, correct. Yeah, yes, 1, and then 2, and then 3 is left hand over the right, and then right hand over left shoulder. It is like this. Yes. So any other questions?
Good evening, ma'am. This is Ravi.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the excellent presentation. We learned a lot today. My question is, what is the policy level roadmap in India? Because I contact with other national people, and I know one of my friend who had a learning disability. She studied from home, but she became a doctor. I mean, she did her research and is about to get her doctorate. So, what are the policy level roadmap in India? I think we have to
Yes.
still develop that. So,
Yes.
you experts, I mean, you should be working. We would
Yes.
like to hear from you.
Okay. Usually, sir, there's a policy is there, but still our Indian government, they gave a lot of for exams and all that. If the student provide they had a difficulty in learning disability certificate,
Okay.
they can
Okay.
exclude any of the like maths or physics, or they can exclude that subject, and then even they will have the national open education system. In that also they can, because they need not to go to school. They, by national education system is the NOS, they can learn the whatever favorite subject they have. Still they can do lot of wonders, but parents has to be knowledge about all these things.
Yes,
to
awareness.
overcome. Yes, that's okay.
Yeah, there is only one more suggestion from me, humble suggestion. I think we have to evolve different terminology, like different learner or something like that, rather than let us try to avoid disability. It is
Yes.
kind of throws these things. So maybe at differently, like differently able to different learner, or learner with a different kind of something this government has to do, because disability is something which puts people off. That's my view.
Yes. Yes, usually it is learning disability. Now they turn to disorder, but still they will be working on to have a different, because they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
difficulty only in learning part, not any other thing. Yeah, thank you for the suggestions.
Yeah, yeah, it is like a challenging intellectual. Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Radha, can I ask a question?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Go ahead.
Yes.
Before
Swarupa
that,
here.
Yes.
Good evening, doctor. See, I have a son who's 7 years old. Okay, and I wanted to use the alternate education for him. As at school, they would start teaching only at 6 years or 7 years. He's 7 years now, and because of lockdown, couldn't put him in school. The thing with my son is I have started teaching him and all those things. He's like, you just shared one of those kind of children, who are good in maths and all those things. He's very good at narrating, singing, whatever you say. But he just doesn't want to sit down and write. Okay. So, so what is that can be done for this kind of a child? I mean, in the sense, since you have spoken, instead of me going and searching, I'm from Bangalore, instead of me going and searching for somebody, what support can I get from you? Or, is it something possible to, assess him in case he has got anything?
Yes. Yes, of course, of course. Usually 7 years, yes, sitting tolerance, we will be called them as a sitting tolerance. First, the child has to sit in one place. Then the child will start listening. Then it comes to learning aspect. First, sitting is very essential.
He has started learning to sit down now,
Okay,
but
that's great.
he prefers to sit down and do some artistic work, as in, he will not throw any cardboards from the house. He will take the cardboards and he'll prepare something in the house.
That's great. That's
Okay,
great.
very creative. Anybody who looks at him, but he has an aversion towards writing.
Yes.
Okay, how you
Yes.
said parents have to be
Yes.
very supportive.
The
So
aversion is.
as a
Yes.
mother, I'm very, very supportive. But his father is not supportive. His father says, what is wrong with you? Why can't you write? And he gets nice beatings from the father. So I'm genuinely looking at some support, because just
Yes.
last, I put him with one handwriting teacher to just see if he can, and he finds it so difficult to write, and I feel really bad for him because everything else is good.
Yes, that's a problem. That's a problem where they will have difficulty only in the writing part or in the reading part. As aversion is because of the parents and teacher. If the child has aversion to write, because I see a lot of kids, kids will be telling they don't want to write, and then they will give lot and lot of excuse to write. Only
No, he
for
will run away. See, today he's not at home. I was doing some work and he's not at home. He's ran away to my parents' house and he's sitting there and he's watching, he will be watching mobile right now.
okay.
And he will only watch only mythological stories or moral stories or some kind of cartoons. But right, wrong, all these morals are very good for him. But somewhere, it has got huge. So what can you do, doctor, for him?
Yes,
Can I contact
actually,
you?
yeah, we have to do some assessment for him. Once the assessment, I can tell you what and all the difficulties he had. So you can contact me later. I can share my contact number.
So where do I contact you in case I want to contact you in person? Do I contact you in Chennai?
Yes. Yes, I am in Chennai, but currently I'm providing online consultation. So,
Okay. No,
okay. So,
where in Chennai are you, doctor? I'm so sorry because there are chances that I might come to Chennai this month.
okay, I am in Rayapeta.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so anyway,
Yes, Dr. Radha will be sharing her contact details so that you can note it down and you can contact
Sure.
her. Thank you so much for your
Thank you so
query.
much.
I have.
And yes,
yeah.
before
Yeah, can
we
I
go
speak?
to the yes, ma'am. Before we go to the other question, there is one question in the chat box. After that, you could ask, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, at one
Okay.
level, we talk about inclusion and then NIOS. Can you please share your thoughts?
Okay. Inclusion, yes. Learning disability children, they are usually is a cat on the wall, because they cannot go to special school. They cannot go. They have to stay in the inclusive education, because they can able to capable to read and write in the different way. But definitely when the teachers support, they can overcome, because learning disability is only the learning problem. And then previous mother also, we see the mother's anxiety about the child, why the child is not doing the same thing. So they can be steady in the normal school, that is in the inclusive method. But the school and the teacher has to decide, because I see lot of parents, they will be crying out loud, they will be cried a lot, that because of the learning problem, because of the child not able to read and write, they ask them the push to the special school. I'm so sorry to use this word, but still the school, it's about the school acceptance. It's not about the government, it's about the particular school acceptance. And then it's about the school. And then usually the government told that there should be an inclusive education, but still the school and teacher has to be accept, and then they have to provide a extra hour for the child for the special class. And yes.
Thank you so much. And yes, ma'am, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, my question was also related to this. My daughter, like, we feel that we have wasted 3-4 years in inclusive school. What you are saying, we have put her in the normal school. Now she's with NIUS. Now I want to ask here that will they be getting certificates for 10th and 12th also, like the normal school?
Yes,
As we have the
of
options.
course. Of
Yeah,
course,
so,
of
and then
course.
they
Even
can,
in the 10th standard also, they will have lot of subject where they can choose. So if you correctly approach that, they can get the certificate. And then even in the NOS, after NOS also, NOS also, they completed degree, and then they did a lot of postgraduate and all. So NOS is a right platform. You can go for that.
okay, since last year I have put her in that, so I'm
Okay.
feeling a little bit relaxed and happy about the development.
Yes,
Okay, so they can do their, yeah.
yes, that's usually a parent choice. It's a parent choice where they have to enroll the child. Even in the NOS also, you can do it. That's what I already mentioned that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Any other questions?
Any other questions from the participants? So, I have a question for you. Because nowadays we see a lot of children's being identified, be it with autism or like ADHD, or with these learning disabilities. This has become new in the recent years. So, is there anything a school can be educated, or is there any policy that could be brought to all the schools so that it will be easier even for the management, so that early detection could help in early intervention? So, is there any possibility to have such things?
Yes, definitely the possibility. I think government also working on that project and all. Soon they will have a lot of awareness program. But as you said, early identification is very essential. Without that, because I already mentioned that even 12th standard boy, 10th standard boy, they will be at the public time. Even last year, they just mentioned that 5th standard is a public. So that 5th standard boy around last year December, the parents, they brought to me, and then they told that, okay, my son is having some difficulty, so you just make him to give pass mark. But whatever difficulties, what level he is, we have to identify. So early identification is very essential. This one definitely management has to know. They have to create awareness, and then once they identify the child as some learning disability, the way they convey the message to the parents is very much essential. And then they should not tell like, okay, your son is not capable like that. Your son has some difficulties. If you give some special training to them, he can overcome that. If that way of commands from the teachers and the management, school management means parents usually get it. Otherwise, parents will do the refusal. No, my child is not like that. So it will be like that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we have another question like, can you suggest courses regards to learning disabilities? Which program suits for a beginner?
Yes, there are different type of learning disability courses available. Even in Tamil Nadu Open University, and then even other universities also there. I usually teach, I think Dr. Veena also know, we both will give training for about learning disability and all. Soon I am also formulating course for learning disability. So you can contact me for further details about that. Yeah, I will share my contact number in the chat box.
Yes, looking forward for that, Dr. Radha. Yes, definitely.
Yes, I think it's there.
As you type on your contact details, and before we go on to the next question, we have Gunapati Armugan sir from Malaysia. It would be helpful if he says a few words about the session. Gunapati sir?
I think, yeah, he's there.
Yes, I'll go with the question, Radha. If a child take benefit for 10th standard, then can that child go ahead taking science in their +2?
Yes, of course, of course. Each child has their own potential. If the child is interested in science also, they can go through, because previously, 10 years before, we don't have that much of technology to understand the subject, and then it can. Now there is a lot of assistive technology. So with that also, the child can able to do whatever subject they want. If you've gone through the famous personality in learning disability, not only the actor or not only the musician, lot of the scientists also, they diagnose as a learning disability. So definitely they can go for science, whatever subject they want, they can go for it.
Yes, thank you so much. And yes, Gunapati sir?
Yeah, Dr. Radha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good presentation. I was listening to your total presentation, but unable to concentrate because I got some other commitment. I'm here, walking here and then, but still I managed to get the fact and also the PowerPoints. But in Malaysia, under the Malaysian School Psychology Association, recently, about two months back, we conducted specific learning disability workshop for the teachers, the Tamil school teachers. The future speaker we will contact you here, all these personalities in this field. I'm very happy. Thank you for the sharing the given the opportunity for us to. Thank you to the university organizers for the is needed and also more parents in denial. They are not accepting the children as some, but they are focusing on academic excellence. Is there any weaknesses in their children's learning disability or academic any problems? Every student, they feel that every student can get A's, so they focus only A's. So this type of awareness seminars, workshop will enlighten the parents and create awareness parents among the Tamil speaking as well as the Indian parents throughout the world. Thank you very much, Doctor and organizer and Dr. Veena.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you so much for your inputs, and really looking forward so that countries like Malaysia could collaborate with us also to work more on mental health issues of children. Thank you so
Yes.
much, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Sure,
And
sure. We work
yes,
together.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Guna. Thank you, Dr. Guna, for your compliments and
It's-
Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank,
sir. Yes,
thank
we have another question, Dr. Radha. How to differentiate slow learners from LD children?
Okay, the slow learners usually they will usually do all, may or may not have the intelligence. They may not have the average above average IQ. That's the basic thing in the slow learners, and then they process all the information in the slow space, and then cognitive difficulty will be there in slow learners. So compared to learning disability, slow learners is somewhat down. We have to put lot of effort to overcome the difficulty.
Thank you so much for patiently answering all the questions that have been put your way, Dr. Radha. And I'm sure participants would have noted your contact details. And now is the time for vote of thanks. And who else than our own Subhashri ma'am to do the honors?
Dr. Veena for inviting me, and thank you so much for all all the participants for speaking. And we have been so grateful for the resource person Radha, and she has really rocked and she has nailed in detail about the entire aspects of dyslexia, and she has, as she said, she has only shared the tip of the ice, and she has so many things to share with us. Thank you so much for your wonderful session. Please accept our gratitude from Department of Psychology, American College, Madurai, and our core team, lead Dr. Suresh Kumar, who has been actually the brainchild behind this entire show. We have been running for this 285 webinar is only possible because of his initiation. And then the entire associates like our Meta School of Social Work from Chennai, Department of Psychology from there, and International Center for Clinical Psychology and Psychotherapy, Germany. And as well as I would like to mention here Veena, who has brought in the psycho-oncology with us in touch, and all other collaborators, and especially with Red Bond, they are the supporters for technical assistance and other aspects, and Psycho-Oncological Society, Association Turkey, and very happily to share that MS Challamuthu Rehabilitation Center from Madurai, and all of them are collaborating right from the beginning, and we are so thankful for all of them. And I thank honestly and very genuinely all my core team member who have been part of this. Initially we have been into, all of us been into that, but later on with so much of commitments we couldn't be present throughout, all the core members. We have been in and out, but they make sure that the program is going on without any flaw. They make sure that the program is progressing well in positive manner. So especially I thank Radha for the wonderful session and creating an awareness, and also giving a lot of tips for people to handle the crisis at home. I know the immediate crisis to be handled at home. Thank you so much, Radha. So nice of you to share even the techniques and other activities. Also, I thank all the participants wholeheartedly who have been traveling right from the beginning, and I hope that we are continuing and we are rocking till 1 year, and then hope that if it God's will and the participants willing, that we will continue to so. Thank you so much, Dr. Guna, for joining us from Malaysia. It is wonderful surprise for me. So nice of you. He is a very, very open and also a great psychologist over there in Malaysia who helps unconditionally people around. They do lots of service for the people who are really needy. They do a lot of programs, training programs from their association. I really welcome you for this webinar. Henceforth, please join us and whenever you find time. Thank you so much, Dr. Guna.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Shubha ma'am.
Dr. I didn't notice you just now. Thank you. All the best. I know you very well, and then you're a very kind person. I'm happy you are a part of the team. Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Radha, and thank you, Shubha ma'am, for that wonderful vote of thanks. And participants, kindly send your queries and feedback to mywebinarfeedback@gmail.com. We will meet tomorrow with yet another wonderful session. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.